webinar once the webinar is over. So I will share the link for our official YouTube channel with all the participants. But remember, the recorded video of this program shall be available at the earliest possible on this YouTube channel of ours. So I will be sharing the details of the YouTube channel also, or with all the participants in the chat window. So dear participants, this is the chat window. I hope you have all got the details of our YouTube channel, and please ensure that you can access this chat window on your device. Good evening, Huda sir. Welcome to the webinar.
Evening. Good evening to everyone. Good evening, Dr.
Good evening, Professor Huda.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Pasha. Great to have all of you. I could see Professor Sani as well.
Yes, sir. Sani sir has also joined today.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you? Great.
Fine, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Welcome for the program in New Year.
Yeah, it's my privilege, sir.
And good evening to all the participants from different parts of the country and abroad.
So a very good evening and a very warm welcome to all panelists and participants. I welcome you all to today's webinar on artificial intelligence and mass media. Our expert for today's session, Professor Tasha Singh Parihar from Department of Mass Communication, Galgotias University, has already joined us. And within a few minutes from now, we shall be starting with today's webinar. So dear participants, from whatever device you are all connected with us through for today's webinar, kindly ensure that you can access the chat window on the same. I repeat, the chat window is an important mechanism through which all of us will be communicating during this webinar. So any questions you have from the expert for today's session, keep writing them down in the chat window during the session. I shall be facilitating you by asking those questions with our expert, but at the end of the session. I also request all the participants, we will be sharing a feedback form link for automated certificate of participation generation for today's session at the end of the session. So dear participants, please ensure that you remain with us till the end of the session and you earn yourself a certificate of participation for today's session also, despite increasing your knowledge with this session. Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay has also joined us. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the session.
Hello, can you listen me?
Yes, sir, perfectly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a position because it is stopping in the computer, so I am trying to join with the phone itself.
Yes, sir, I can see you are connected through the phone, but I can hear you
let
perfectly.
me do it. What is the start my video?
Yes, sir, now I can even see you. So a very good evening and a very warm welcome to all panelists and participants. I welcome you all to today's webinar on artificial intelligence and mass media. In a few minutes from now, we shall be starting with today's webinar on a very contemporary topic and a contemporary technology. Our expert for today's session, Professor Tasha Singh Parihar from Department of Mass Communication, Galgotias University, has already joined us. So dear participants, in case any of your friends, colleagues are left yet to join the session, kindly ask them to join in soon because we are soon starting with today's webinar within a few minutes from now. I also request you, kindly, all of you, please ensure whatever device you are connected for today's webinar, please ensure that you can access the chat window on the same. For information of all the participants who have just joined us, this webinar shall also be live streamed on our official YouTube channel, BVI Camp New Delhi. but that live streaming is only for knowledge dissemination purposes. So dear participants, kindly ensure that all of your friends, colleagues, etc., they join us through the they join us through the WebEx room itself, because it shall only be this WebEx room where we shall be sharing the feedback link for certificate of participation generation for today's session. Two minutes more to go, and we shall soon be starting with today's webinar. So can we start?
We can start. I think one minute is left.
1 minute is left. I think I can start.
Yeah, please start.
Okay, thank you, sir. A very good evening to all distinguished panelists and participants. Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVI CAM, in association with Computer Science Chapter of IEEE Delhi Section, Consultants Network Affinity, CNA Group of IEEE Delhi Section, Life Member Affinity, LMA Group of IEEE Delhi Section, Inter-Society Relations, IRS Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi Section, Industry Relations and Site Standing Committees of IEEE Delhi Section, in associations with Computer Society of India, SAFA Society, ISTE Delhi Section, and IETE Delhi Center, welcomes you all today to this webinar on artificial intelligence and mass media. Saibal Sage stated that in a New York Times article, someone on TV has only to say, Alexa, I suppose someone is on unmute. Subrata sir, you are on unmute. Kindly mute. Thank you, sir.
Actually, he's connected from two devices.
Yes, sir. Subrata sir, please mute your phone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Uttam, you mute Subrata sir, another device.
Mobile.
Subrata sir, you please mute your device on mobile.
Sir, mobile is unmute.
Nikita ma'am, if you are Ritika ma'am, if you are the host, you can mute sir from your end.
So Hoda, I think you have to remove one device, then only you can.
Yeah, I at least
We are trying at the back end, but we are unable to unmute. But now the problem is solved. Thank you, sir.
okay, go ahead.
Saibal says, stated in a New York Times article, that someone on TV has only to say, Alexa, and she lights up. She's always ready for action. The perfect woman never says, not tonight, dear. This quote only indicates the vast reach of AI-based applications in the current times. This webinar today is aimed at uncovering the interplay of artificial intelligence in mass media industry. Artificial intelligence has found itself an important place in the present media industry. It offers huge promises to the media companies, integrated along with many challenges to overcome. This webinar shall help us uncover how artificial intelligence is transforming the media and entertainment business, impacting everything from content creation to the overall consumer experience. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I welcome Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, Chairperson, Consultants Network Affinity, CNA Group, and former Chairperson, IEEE Delhi Section. I also welcome Professor A.K. Saini, Chairman, Vice President, Computer Society of India and IETE, and Dean, University School of Management Studies, GGS IPU University. I would first request Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, sir, to commence this session with his welcome address.
Thank you, Ritika. There was some hitch actually fast from the sale, then computer. Now, of course, back to computer only. So today's topic is artificial intelligence or AI in short, and mass media. We'll like to listen from a person from the mass communication department of Galgotia University and a well-established department over there. So over the years, we have seen in recent times something like self-learning, self-controlling, self-communicating, standalone intelligent systems that enable different paradigms. Virtual reality, gaming use programming abilities to create totally new environments or replicate existing environment. From the prehistoric days, if we go, while talking used to be described by painting on caverns, and sending news and data by means of pigeons, flames in the form of signals, to whatever we have moved to the recent era or current time, that is Facebooking, Snapchatting, or tweeting our thoughts to the world has become very standard. I don't know in future what more will like to come. We have voyaged a long journey over the time. In today's world, which is ruled and impacted by digitalization, technology is the powerful magic tool giving wings to our pigeons, which are now in the multiple mass media platform that include television, newspaper, computer, cell phone, just to name a few. There are so many, giving an entirely different shape and personality to these stages in artificial intelligence that we have come over the years, an innovation which is portrayed by the like of human insight for its use in machines and for programming them to think as far as like a people and to copy their activities. Definitely AI coming in long way with that. Computerized reasoning, other day we learned a lot also. Through AI elevates to change the media and diversion business, affecting everything from content creation, business affecting, going from to the purchasing experience and whatever the possible things are there. That is a right guide to the human being to take decision, or rather going along with the decision taken already. So what we see in AI in a constant ever-evolving sector of life, be it AI in controlling bias, AI in social media, AI in automated journalism, and many more. So objective of the talk today, I'm very sure, will be to offer a good overview of the application of AI in media, as well as the other way, impact of AI in the field of media. With this, I'm stopping over here. Over to Ritika to proceed further.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor A.K. Saini, sir, to motivate us with his words.
Thank you, Ritika. Good evening to all of you. I think I must compliment Professor Hoda, who has been taking initiatives really in knowledge dissemination in the upcoming areas, which actually touches everybody. And I think that the topic of today's the discussion is also not different from what actually we find. Both AI and mass media, they actually are the hot words these days, because we talk of media and the way media is spreading around, the way new technologies actually are coming and enabling the communication across people, that actually has been at the forefront. And I think we all know that we have seen, because if you look at the way we have been conversing, because we talk about the mass the communication, I think I still recollect when I used to visit certain places, sightseeing places, there were a lot of words which were written on the walls and all that. I think from that mode of communication to moving towards what we today call as Facebook or Snapchatting or tweeting and all these things, they are the buzzwords today, especially with the generation Y, what we talk of, right? And I think this is what actually is also a part of our daily life as well. I think I'm very sure that majority of us, I think you'll hardly find anybody who is either not on the Twitter or Instagram or like this or Facebook. I think these are something which are essential part of our daily life and are part of the work culture also. If you look at the way we have been doing, I think the traditional way, we have also seen the technology actually immersing itself into this whole process of communication. The media actually has undergone tremendous changes, and stepping towards the improvement, I think we find AI, which is artificial intelligence, actually has brought another facet of it. It has also brought another dimension to the whole process of media and the communication process itself. And we know that AI, basically in simple terms, we say that when we're trying to imitate human intelligence, we say that this basically is something which is trying to enable the human beings being mimicked or by for their actions by the technology. And this is where actually we find that AI actually has a very vital role to play when you talk of the mass media communication also. And in the same context, if you see what we talk today is that the way media actually, or the journalists, I should say, that they also find its applications in a variety of ways. They can either, they can gather content, they can understand the data pools also, and also they can distribute the media at the click of a button. We find that Twitter, of course, one example, just do it, and then you find a lot of tweets and retweets coming up in a short span of time. So I think this is basically what calls automated journalism. That's, in fact, I was really happy to see the term coming up from the media, automated journalism. I think which is making use of a lot of algorithms also, which are coming, which are basically borrowed from what's called the technology of AI. And I think in a variety of ways, you see that the AI is actually trying to break into the fold of media, or you can say break those silos actually in which the media has been working earlier. And I'm sure that today's discussion and the presentation by Professor Tasha Parihar, I think I'm sure this is going to be very innovative and more informative for all of us to understand more intricacies which actually are going to be there when talk of media and the use of technology and AI in specific. And I can see that there are 250 plus participants coming from different parts of the country. And I'm sure that this is going to be very, very useful and informative session for all of us. Thank you so much. And another compliment that you're trying to converge all those societies together on this platform. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor M.N. Huda, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVI CAM, to address the participants with his inspiring words.
Good evening to one and all. At the outset, let me first welcome my today's valued speaker, Dr. Tasha Singh Parihar, who readily agreed when I asked her, requested her, that on artificial intelligence and mass media, because we need to connect media with the technology, and a huge connection across the world has already happened. I have requested, she readily agreed. Thank you so much, Dr. Tasha, for having agreed to this and spared your valuable time for this program. I'm also thankful to all my friends from various professional societies. I have here, like always, the encouraging force, Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, the former chairperson of IEEE Delhi section and the present chairperson of IEEE Network Affinity Group and Life Number Affinity Group. I have my friend and the Vice President, National Vice President, Institution of Electronics and Telecom Engineers, Professor A.K. Saini, who is also the Dean of University School of Management and the Director of the entire IQAC and NAC process of Indraprastha University. I have very, very senior friends from other domain of life. I have Professor S.M.K. Qadri, I have Professor Grover, the former Dean of Sciences from Delhi University. I have Professor K.T.V. Reddy, the former president, the immediate past president of IET. I have Professor Krishnamurthy, the former chairperson of IEEE Delhi sections, and I could see many, many senior people amongst the audience who have joined as an attendee. So welcome you all. My dear participants who keep on waiting for this program, the weekly evening series of IEEE Delhi section and Bharati Vidyapeeth since June 2020, when we started this series. after the outbreak of COVID-19 first phase from all parts of the country and abroad. So credit goes to all of you for having encouraged us to continue the series and organize it successfully one after another. So welcome you all in this program. Today's topic is very different than what we have been talking, particularly the technologists primarily have been talking. And that's how we thought that let's connect the applications, let's connect the involvement, let's connect the engagement of the technology in general and artificial intelligence in particular with mass media industry. Because when artificial intelligence is touching almost every spectrum of our life, how mass media can remain alone? If you see the kind of the happening which is in the digitized media, which is happening in the social media, which is happening in entertainment industry, many of them has rightly been introduced by Professor A.K. Saini and the prior speakers, Professor Subrata and Dr. Ritika as well. I would not like to repeat all those, but would like to tell you that the application of artificial intelligence is going to give altogether a different experience, which probably in absence of artificial intelligence will be difficult to be imitated, difficult to be given to the people. And it has gone to a level, now we are talking that will it replace humans? The people have started having a kind of a scary factor amongst them that will it be replacing people? Just around 2-3 years back, we have seen the holographic application of artificial intelligence while our minister has inaugurated that Netaji's statue at India Gate just around 3-4 days back. We have seen. So people have started fearing it now. My say to always to that environment is let's not have a fear factor. Let's utilize technology and also ensure that let's not become the technology. If we are not becoming the technology, then probably always the positive side of the technology will be utilized. And wherever there are problems, experts are there. And there is no challenge which has not been faced by the human mankind. The human mankind has faced all kind of challenges. And that's how I always say that the technology is so powerful that with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of other technologies, I can make machines to perform like a human being and execute such applications, execute such a kind of facilities which probably human being will not be in a position to do. But at the same time, it does not mean that it is going to replace. And that's how I always say that in today's advanced age, one computer is sufficient of doing the job of maybe 1,000 many people put together. But even 1,000 many computer put together will not be in a position to do the job of one extraordinary person. So the people requirement will always be there. And the purpose of all these webinars which we are organizing week after week is also to bring all those extraordinary people at one platform and make you to understand that how and in which way technology is going ahead, how and in which way we have to utilize the positive sides and the benefits of the technology for our purposes, and to which extent we have to restrict ourselves while using the technology, not to become the technology. So thank you so much. With this note, I would like to conclude. And I keep saying that Corona third phase is now again, since last 2-3 weeks, we are realizing that reducing, thanks God, that probably the country will be coming back to normal life. Let's see. But the way I used to keep apprising all of you that वक्त नाजुक है, जरा संभल के रहिए, जब तक न हो बहुत जरूरी घर के बाहर ना निकलिए. इसमें मैंने थोड़ा सा एडिशन किया है, 2 पंक्तियां और कल तैयार की हैं. सुब्रता सर ने पिछली बार कहा था नया सुनाओ. सर शेर तो बहुत नया सुनाने को है, लेकिन उसे टॉपिक से कनेक्ट करना बहुत मुश्किल काम होता है कि उस शेर को अपने किसी थीम और किसी टॉपिक से कनेक्ट करें. नहीं तो वैसे तो पूरा दीवान हाजिर है. लेकिन कोरोना के लिए मैंने बताया कि जैसे पिछले 4-5 दिनों से हम देख रहे हैं कि कोरोना की रिस्ट्रिक्शंस कम हो रही हैं, लोग ऐसा समझ रहे हैं कि कोरोना खत्म हो गया, और फिर वो उसी जील के साथ मार्केट में और बाहर सड़कों पे नजर आ रहे. इसमें अभी भी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस की जरूरत है. इसमें अभी भी कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर्स फॉलो करने की जरूरत है. और इसके लिए लिखा है कि कोरोना का जमाना है, कोरोना का जमाना है, संभल के चलिए. कोरोना का जमाना है, कोरोना का जमाना है, न यूं मचल के चलिए. लगी है कोरोना की हथकड़ी, अभी संभल के चलिए. So thank you so much. Wish you all the best. stay safe, stay healthy, stay vibrant, keep learning despite disruptions all around us. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Ritika.
Thank you, sir. I would now welcome amongst us our expert speaker for today, Dr. Tasha Singh Parihar, Professor, Department of Mass Communication, Galgotias University, Greater Noida. Dr. Parihar is a PhD in social media. She is working as professor in the Department of Mass Communications, Galgotias University, and has worked earlier as assistant professor in Amity University, Noida, and project associate for Nanyang Technology University, Singapore. Her expertise is in research, media studies, ICTs, game studies, and social media. Her latest contribution is development of 3 scales, namely social ethos scale, cultural ethos scale, and educational ethos scale. I welcome you today to this session, ma'am, and I now request you to kindly enlighten the house.
Thank you so much, Ritika ma'am. I'm overwhelmed to be a part of this event. Thank you, Professor Huda, once again for giving me this opportunity. I'm really very happy, and I'm very thankful to all the eminent panelists present over here. And I also welcome all my worthy participants. Thank you so much for giving your precious time for registering and joining this event. I hope my lecture and my presentation on artificial intelligence and mass media would really bring new insights before you and will really fetch out some research ideas into you. And I just want to say, because I'm before all technical people who are from computer applications who have given birth to artificial intelligence. So this is actually their domain, and I am mass media specialist. I am a communication scientist. For me, I am not good on the technical part of artificial intelligence, but I am actually trying to understand that how can I utilize this application to ace out my work, my field, and my area, which has got lot of, scope in the area of content creation and content dissemination, because we people are content creators and disseminators, and hence my lecture is on discussing the applications of artificial intelligence in varied fields of mass media. So with your permission, I am beginning.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is my first slide where I'm trying to give one meaning and definition to artificial intelligence, and my focus is on to the students who are from mass communication field, who are not from the technical background. So for them to, understand, I'm using layman's language, what is artificial intelligence and how we are using it. So students, basically artificial intelligence is an application of computer science which is trying to, put the machine think like a human being, and that is what is done by giving a lot of commands, instructions, which is in the jargon of computer application called as algorithms. Okay, so those are given to a machine which helps the machine to think like a human being, to interpret, to give some reasons, to have some learnings. Okay, so this is artificial intelligence in a nutshell. Now if we try to classify artificial intelligence, we would find that artificial intelligence is into like natural language processing, it is into machine learning, it is into vision, which has got image recognition and machine vision, it has got speech, which is speech to text and text to speech, it has got planning and robotics, and it has got machine learning, which has got deep learning and supervised and unsupervised forms. So looking on to this classification only, you should try to give 1 minute and 1 moment to think that, see, there is so much of scope of mass media into this classification. Natural language processing. So one keyword that we could catch over here is language, okay, because our tool is language. Another thing that we can see into language is what? It is content extraction. Now, what is content extraction? We actually are the content creators, and every day we want novel content so that we can post and update it on various platforms, be it newspaper, be it television, be it our website, be it our social media platform. So we need new content, and for that we have to drive out content from the existing content, and therefore we find that somewhere the NLP will help us in content extraction. Then classification. There is so much of content today because, in minutes, people are, there is an influx of information. I have my Twitter account, you have your Twitter account, and in seconds we are trying to, post our tweets. So a lot of information is there all around. So we need classification. We need to, classify and sort out news, important information, and the information which is of not much importance, plus maybe it is kind of waste, and it is kind of unintended information which we are not required to further follow and waste our time in following it. Then we could see that there is something called as text generation. Apart from that, image recognition, then speech to text, text to speech. This is so important for us because we are preparing speech and we want to convert them into text. We have text, we want to convert them into speech. So likewise, you can see that in this classification itself, we have so many keywords which are related to mass media. And this gives us a very positive signal that artificial intelligence is something that we have to make use of. We have to use it as a very advanced tool in our field so that we can, ace out our work, we can be more accurate, we can be more efficient, and we can be more fast, because immediacy is our important news value. We want to, give information first and accurate, and for that, if we are supported with such machine applications, then what could be the better thing for us? Okay, so shall I move on to the next slide? Now, students, I would like to explain you something in a very simple language, that in the jargons of artificial intelligence, because it is machines and machines don't understand text, machines understand numbers. Everything that could be given as numbers will be read by the machine, and hence anything which is formed into numbers which are into columns and rows, it is called as structured data in the terms, in the jargons of artificial intelligence. So we actually have to see that whatever information we have, is it in a structured data form? Is it in a relational database management system? Because we have to create some relation between one column to another column so that we can come up with some assumptions and analysis. So structural data or structured data is most often categorized as quantitative data and is highly organized and easy to understand by machine language. And what is the machine language which is used for it? Is SQL, which is structured query language, right? And this was developed by IBM. You all know what is IBM. So you can see in the picture, I have written user ID, user address, phone, email, and then from the order ID, we are connecting the user ID. Then from the user ID, we are trying to connect the product ID and the quantity. And in the product, we are trying to give the description of the product and how the handling is done. So this is all relational database that has been developed into rows and columns, which can be easily understood by the machine, and hence it is called as structured data. An example of structured data is there before you. It could be name of a person, his address, phone number, it could be credit cards, it could be earlier, manually the structured data was prepared, and which was called as telephone directory, where we used to have the directory of the name of the person and his address. But now with the invention of mobile phones, we have stopped publishing directories. Otherwise, every house, and even I remember, we used to have a telephone directory at our house, which we used to refer very frequently for contacting important offices and all. But nowadays we have mobile phones and we have internet, so all those things are outdated now. So we have these as structured data. I hope some you have understood what is structured data. Now let us see that another form or another jargon is unstructured data, and that is where we have to play. Unstructured data is basically the qualitative data, and the example includes text, videos, files, audio files, then social media posts, satellite images, surveillance images, and it is not organized in relational database. I just now explained what is relational database, and hence it is no SQL database. Okay, so now we have to actually play with this because our content is in unstructured form. It is not structured because we have a lot of posts of social media. We have a lot of emails with us, which could be the feedback of the reviewers or our viewers. Then it could be a lot of mobile activities. We have a lot of text messages. We have a lot of audio files. If you ever get a chance, please go and visit All India Radio. There is an archive section in the All India Radio which has got the audio recordings of eminent personalities like Mahatma Gandhi and prominent leaders. So, listening to their original voice is some other kind of feeling, and you will really cherish that. But that all is unstructured data, and we need to structurize it, because once we put that into a structured format, then only we are able to use the applications of artificial intelligence, machine learning. So for that, like we have this is kind of a comparison between unstructured and structured data. So when we talk about structured data, it is like a bird eye view for a customer, but unstructured data provide us with deeper understanding of customer behavior, with the attitude, and therefore this is done with the help of data mining technique. Now what is data mining technique? We have to sort out data. Now I'll give you a very simple example. Supposingly I'm working in a news channel. I am given a desk where there are interviews of prominent personalities. I have around 150 interviews in my hand, and I am told to convert this unstructured data to a structured data. How will I do that? Well, for that, the next thing is converting the unstructured data to semi-structured data. So first thing, you cannot directly put it into a structured data. You will be putting it into a semi-structured data by sorting. Okay, so I would find that when I'm playing some of the videos, some of the interviews are of political people, political leaders and personalities. Some of the videos are of filmmakers and film stars. Okay, some of the videos are of celebrities who are into other fields like sports, science, and fiction and everything. So now I have to do the sorting, and I have to classify them into different forms. Okay, one is like I will be now going for numbering. That is, number 1 is for all the interviews which are of political leaders. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and I would put name against them. All the leaders' name would be there. Likewise, 2 number series will be for the people of film area. So that is the film personality. So 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and the name. And I will give some slugs to it, so that the slugs are basically the headings to it, so that I can sort. Okay. And then third would be for other eminent people, sports persons and scientists and all. So likewise, nomenclature is done. So this is how I try to convert the unstructured data to a structured data, and that to a semi-structured data, because this will be one form of classification where you are trying to convert it into a semi-structured data. And for that, if you want such kind of data, you can go to Kaggle, you can go to Google public data set, you can go to Data Hub, and over there you will find plenty of semi-structured and structured data. And there are there are options. You have to choose education field, you have to choose computer application field, you have to choose films, movies, and you will get lot of data which is in semi-structured form. There are CSV files to it, or structured form. So actually they have done this exercise for you, where they have converted the unstructured data into semi-structured and structured data. Okay, so now we have to a certain extent understood what is artificial intelligence, and what is important for us to is to distinguish between structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Then we have to connect it with mass media. Now when I say mass media, so any form of mass media, which is basically, media is a plural term and medium is singular. So whenever we are trying to reach to large number of audience with the help of some channel, then it is called as mass media. So those channels could be grouped into print media channels, then we have outdoor media, we have broadcast media, and we have digital media. To give few examples, print media, we have books, we have newspapers, magazines, catalogs, brochures, periodicals, right? For the outdoor media, we have got hoardings, billboards, we have transit advertising. When we travel in metro or any public transport, we see a lot of advertisements are pasted on the walls and on the outside of the buses and all. What is that? That is transit media. So it is also part of outdoor media. Then we check broadcast media. Broadcast media, we have television, we have radio, even film is into broadcast media. Then digital media is the new media, that is social media with us. And how do we classify social media? We classify social media as video sharing sites, photo sharing sites. Video sharing sites, maybe we can take example of YouTube, photo sharing site, Instagram. Social networking site could be Facebook, Twitter. Okay, Then we have microblogging site, which is Twitter, and social networking site, we have LinkedIn and Facebook. Then we have bookmarking sites also. So this is how we divide the digital media, because there is a lot of things into digital media itself. Okay. Now we have to start with the applications of artificial intelligence into mass media. So first, which has been already mentioned by the eminent speakers in their welcome speech, that automated journalism. Now, automated journalism, what is automated journalism? Basically, any journalism practice which is being done with the help of machine is termed as automated journalism, because automatically the news is created, the content is developed. Automatic journalism is also called as algorithmic journalism or computational journalism or robotic journalism. Now, what is algorithm? I am again and again saying this word algorithm. So let me make you friendly with the term algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but a set of instructions to understand in a simple way. Okay, set of instruction could be anything. It could be mathematical formulas that we have to put step by step the values into it and get the result. It could be even a recipe of a food. You get the recipe, which is actually a set of instructions that you have to use half ml of water, this much milk, tea, sugar, this, that, and when you combine all of it, something is prepared. So algorithm is a set of structures. So it could be also a recipe, which is algorithm for preparing a particular dish, right? So now we have to come back to automated journalism. Now, when I say automated journalism, it is basically creating content on large scale, which is quicker, cheaper, and potentially with fewer errors than human journalists. And leading companies such as Associated Press, Forbes, the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, ProPublica have started automating the news content. Algorithms use the same data to tell multiple angles, and different angles could be represented, plus it could also give the same data in multiple languages. So this is actually giving you a personalized experience, because it is coming in your own native language, and that is something beneficial, because you are able to target the niche audience, because you are giving that in their language, in their native language. So it is more easy for them to understand and assimilate the information. All right, now look over here in the slide. I have considered this is one news which is on Apple Top Street IQ forecast. So basically it's a news, and you can see it's perfectly in the format. The credit line is given, date line is given, place is mentioned, 5Ws, 1H is covered over here, and a good factual information is given. Looking onto this, we cannot actually guess that whether it is machine made, whether it is automated journalism product, or whether it was written by a person. So when you read in the end, you would say that this story was generated by automated insight. It is basically a software, an application in which you have to put in the data. There is a preset template to it, and you can see that such kind of content is created. Okay, so when you read it, you will not be able to identify whether it is machine made or it is created by a person. But there is a declaration which is given, because if you don't give a declaration, and if somebody finds some mistake into it and goes to court, or any legal action is taken, then you do not have any person who will be liable for it. It will be the publisher who will be liable for it, because that organization, that news organization, is applying the software and coming up with this news. Okay, so how algorithms generate news? They collect the data, they identify interesting event into it, then they prioritize the insights. How do that? They do it by newsworthiness, that we all study in journalism. Then they generate the narratives and publish the story, which is either done on CMS, which is content management system, or it is automatically done after the editorial review. Okay, so there are some concerns related to automated journalism, which even Professor Hooda said, that people are fearing that technology might replace them. It might take away their jobs. No, my dear friends, technology will not do that. And that is what Sir said, that we should always take it as a wish, as a boon, rather than a curse. We should take it in a very positive side, that yes, we have some technology which is helping us to, extend our work with excellence. And in the same case, when you talk about automated journalism, it will not likely replace a journalist. Only those journalists who are covering the routine topics, like There are some, when I give you example, like supposingly sports journalism, you all know in sports journalism, what you get the scorecard, you get the insight that this player made the maximum runs and this and that. So over there, actually the invention or the beginning of the automated journalism was somewhere way back with the sports news only, because in the sports news we have the structured data with us, we have the score sheet, we have the series of events, we have player wise records, everything is structured into rows and columns, and therefore it is easy for us to go with news creation through automated journalism over sports. Similarly, in business, you have the stock market results with you every day, the figures are changing, almost the template is same, so it is easy to even generate sports and business related news with the help of automated journalism. But automated journalism has certain limitations. It actually cannot go for in-depth analysis, it cannot go for interviews, it cannot go for investigative reporting, and there is where your demand will always be there in the market. So please don't be disheartened that if the newsrooms are entering, if the automated journalism sets and these applications are entering your newsrooms. No, you are always special and you always will remain special, because you have the ability to come up with your views, with your reviews, with your opinion. And algorithms, because they rely on data is likely to be biased, and if it is biased, it can give you some errors, and there could be differences and unexpected and unintended content errors that could be created with the help of automated journalism, because it is machine, and machines do not have that thinking ability, whether it is being biased or it is being fair, right? It is the human being who decides that the news is inclined, because we always have to come up with neutral and balanced reporting. So human beings always will continue their journalism passion, and we will be having trained journalists who will be good in interviewing, in-depth analysis and investigative stories. But these machines are helping us to create our news which is on routine basis, and we just need to change the numbers because there's a preset template, and with the help of it we are able to create large content. So here I have some examples, like these are some companies. US has got company Automated Insight, then Narrative Science, then in France there is LabSense, then in Germany it is AX Semantics, to Text NGL, Texomatic. These are all names of those machines and applications which are used for creating automated journalism or news which is created through it. And this was one popular media coverage by NPR's Planet Money podcast, which had one of his most experienced reporter competing with an algorithm to write a news story. So what it was doing, the news story, same news, same content, it was written by the experienced reporter, and also it was being generated by the algorithms, and we were comparing which is better, who writes better, which has a better readability, right? Then the New York Times did a quiz that allow readers to guess whether this news is human written, generated by human, or it is an algorithm based story. So even this was done somewhere in 2015. And there was a Daily Show's humorous coverage of the topic, shed lights on the potentials and concerns of increased usage, where again we were trying to check the viability of robotic journalism. So these are some examples before you. Now, let us move on to another application of artificial intelligence. Students, today there is an influx of information, and we term like there is some news and there is some non-news, and it is important for us to classify that, because the reader is overburdened to read which news, because there's so much of information around. And there are some news which are waste, like reading celebrity news that they have been to this place, that place, is actually of not much importance. Why do we need to know about their personal life? But we find that a lot of space on internet is being covered by these celebrity news. Why? Because it is pay per click model, business model, and people, when they see the photographs of their favorite celebrities, they click on it, and of course the revenue is generated. And therefore we find that such kind of junk news is prevailing a lot into the social media platform. So we have some techniques in artificial intelligence also, which could help us in identifying the fake news. A lot of research is being done into it. Like first, let us understand what is fake news. Fake news is basically creating a news which could create biased opinion, which could manipulate the mindset, which could spread satires or absurdity. And this misinformation and disinformation which is disseminated, this phenomena is called as fake news. So the computational techniques such as natural language processing and machine learning can be used to detect the fake news. So there are some tools to identify fake images and videos, because we find that nowadays on social media, most generally we find that a video is shown where maybe a woman is being molested, and we try to say that this is done in the recent event, and see how people are, maybe the recent Delhi riots that we saw, and in that if such kind of video is shown, so we feel that, oh my god, it is so difficult to move outside, you are not safe, because see how a woman is being molested over here. But it is actually, when we try to investigate, it was a fake video. That video was not of the present time, of the real time. It was a fake video that was intentionally put into it, so that we can create more tensions in the mind of people, that yes, outside it's very unsafe, and the conditions are not proper, and police is not managing, and the system has failed, the governance has failed, and all this kind of biased opinion building is being done by some political leaders because of their malicious intentions to vote politics and etc. So to get away with this, we have some tools which are being created under artificial intelligence domain, which help us in identifying the fake images and videos. I have given you some names. You can go and scroll and browse about them. Photo forensic is there, Google reverse image is there, then in-vid verification is there, then Celery is there, then TinEye, TruePic, YouTube data viewer, and also there are many research papers that have come through which are trying to find whether the text generated news is fake news or it is real, which is done through algorithms like logistic regression, which is done through support vector machines, multi-layer perception, k-nearest neighbors, and ensemble learners, which is an application of machine learning. So there are many interesting research papers given in the domain of computer application which are trying to go for understanding and identifying the fake news. So this was another application. Now, another application of artificial intelligence that we have is for writing there are many softwares which are helping us to write better. Like Jaspar is there, which is highly rated software, because it helps us to transform your text into a completely personalized and unique form of art. Then there is Ink Editor, which is a distraction-free editor that combines AI co-writing and search engine optimization assistance for making your writing very effective. It gives you rich vocabulary into your content. So even if you have written some normal words, it will try to, convert it into some beautifully good synonyms to it, so that your writing altogether looks very attractive. Then you have Grammarly. There's a lot of ads of Grammarly around social media. You people are very much familiar with the word Grammarly, which is used for writing your messages and emails. Then we have WordTune and Pro Writing Aids, which helps you to, create good, interesting sentences, rich content, and it helps you in eradicating the redundant text, because unknowingly when we are writing something, there are a lot of things that come redundant, which is not required, but still it is there. And in newspapers how much, and even on websites, your content and space is valuable. You cannot spend a lot of space into writing redundant content. So you need to, classify that, sort it out. So these writing softwares help us in better writing. Okay, then we also have AI for script writing. So we have artificial intelligence used for script writing, because script is very much necessary in various fields. When you are developing some film, or you are developing any program for the television, or you are developing any program for theater or street play, you need good script, because there is a lot of content around, and from that only you need to create a unique message which is more informative, entertaining, and educating. So for that we have Jarvis, which is one of the fast producing high quality screenplays. This is one application which gives you 100% plagiarism free content, because because of the information floating around, we may be trapped under plagiarism. Many things are already there, existing, and unknowingly also it could be that we have written something in similar, so we can be caught under the act of copyright, and we are then shown to have a plagiarized content. So to get away with that, this is one of the application where you can go for script where you can create amazing stories, and it is all done through machine learning algorithms that are fed with large number of movie data, and which analyze them and come up with unique scripts which the audience will love, because somewhere they have systems like audience preferences, reviews. So putting all those things, equating, they are able to give you a good script, and it gives and this Jarvis, which is an application, needs minimal human interventions, so it could itself create very creative script, and it is faster also. So in a few days only or few hours only, you are able to come up with very rich and interesting scripts which you can further edit for your betterment, but at least you have one blueprint ready in your hand with the help of this AI software. Next is AI in pre-production. When you are it is you must have heard that there are many people amongst you also must be aspiring to become assistant directors first, and then you would like to become the directors of the films or TV shows. So for that, directing any show and all, it requires a lot of pre-production exercises, which are very stressful tasks, and AI can help you in streamlining the process. Like we have to create a schedule where actors timings and locations could be apt with the storyline, and whether that today, because when we decide the screenplay, we have to decide that this has to be taken early in the morning, because that time we have the natural light, this is the temperature, and this shot has to be taken during the rainy season, shot has to be taken in dark light. So putting all those things into one frame, when you do it on your own, it will be like a very cumbersome exercise, but when you have a software through AI, you can streamline that. It could help us in breakdowning the script. It could help us in creating the storyboard and shortlist the generations. It could help us in scheduling assistance. It gives us it helps us in assisting the schedule, like who has because actors give us the time that we will be free from this to this, so making it possible that yes, this time is matching with this actor and we can take these shots which are based on it. It could also help us in creating the budgets. So AI is also helping us in making pre-productions. Now AI is also helpful in making characters. The digital domain applied in machine learning technologies are used to design amazing fictional characters like Ava, the human looking robot, or Thanos of the Avenger, then Baymax of the personal healthcare robot, or Welly, the cleaning robot. These are very famous characters which are being developed with the help of AI. And you might be watching Hollywood cinema and you will be familiar with these terms. Okay. Now, AI in subtitle creations. There are some softwares like Movie, Video Suite, or Subtitle Edit, or Subtitle Workshop, which helps us in creating the subtitles of the movies or the scripts that we have prepared, and that is done through natural language generation and natural language processing. Remember, in the earlier classification of the artificial intelligence, I showed you there's something called as text to speech and speech to text. So it is very easy. Even you must have experienced at your level that when you go for any meeting, like even in the WebEx or in Google Meet, there is something called as CC, which is captions. You click on it, and then whatever you are speaking, automatically the captions are created. So what is it? It is speech to text, and that is facilitated with the help of AI, right? Then it is also used in film production, film promotion side. So film promotion, because there are, like, when your movies are made, then you go for promotions, and we find that we take help of a lot of famous TV serials, like people go into KBC, people go into Kapil Sharma comedy show and all these places, and they even host some programs in cities where they launch the premiere of their movie, so that people come around and popular actors are there to somewhere create interest, and they request that please watch our movie. But now this is also possible with the help of artificial intelligence, where they are utilizing chatbots. What are chatbots? Whenever you open any website, there is one icon coming, may I help you? And there is a text box given to you where you can type in your keywords, and the chatbot helps you in assisting your queries, answering your queries. So these chatbots can be utilized for promotional operations. Even search optimization is there whenever, like, because if you type any word which is there related to the movie, your movie will start flashing up, and so people will watch it. And something out of sight is out of mind, but if you are watching it again and again, if you're seeing it again and again, so somewhere you create that desire and develop that anxiety into the mind of the consumer that yes, this movie is going to release and we have to watch it. So somewhere that promotion of film is also possible with the help of artificial intelligence. It is also used in editing. How editing? We have the feature of facial recognition into artificial intelligence. And when you have all the raw footage of the shoots that you have taken from the movie, now with the help of facial recognition, you are able to categorize the scenes and the shots of the protagonist and the antagonist and these supporting roles, and therefore it is very easy for the editor to sense all of them and put into a sequence and edit the movie. And it improves the quality of audio and reduce the volume of the music or effect automatically when the dialogues are being spoken. So Adobe Premiere Pro is the software which we generally use, and it is now featured with the face recognition technology, and it quickly helps us in going with fast editing, and that too we are able to sort very easily, right? Then we also use artificial intelligence in photo editing. You have your mobile phones before you, and you can see that there is so many options of photo editing with the help of AI. AI image matting is there. You can click on it, you can change the background. Then facial recognition is there, which helps you in sorting the photographs. It also, like I have these names, Lumiere AI and Movi Pickverse, then Auto Reach, Auto Retouch, Pixlers, then Topaz. All this are able to create a lot of things, like it can edit your image, it can remove the background, it can add new background, it can fill colors to the black and white photos. Then it can make your face more appealing, like it can give you a proper shape, your double chin can go, your eyes can widen, it beautifies your image, it goes for a photo enhancer that gives you a good portrait where you remove wrinkles from the face. And you can also, with the help of AI, if you put an exact good face, the photo is very clear, then you can play with it. It can make you old, it can make you look young, it can make you look like a child. So all those changes are also possible. And or we have Snapchat and all, you can see that we are using so many features of it which are AI enabled, right? Then we are also using artificial intelligence in advertising. How we are using it? Because advertising is somewhere where we are trying to persuade the consumer to buy our product, and for that we have to we have to somewhere study the consumer's psychology, the consumer's aptitude, and in that case we have to give them personalized experience. So like how can we give that? We can give it through conversational marketing technique, in which we can use chatbot, where we can put questions in the real time with the consumer. Are you using the product? How is the product? Please give your feedback. And this is why the consumer will be able to make a connect with your product, and he or she will be able to develop brand loyalty, because they will feel that this particular company or the brand is more concerned with my choice, it's more concerned with what I want, and they want to give me a better shopping experience, they want to take my feedback. And therefore ultimately we have seen that through these exercises of artificial intelligence, somewhere people are able to connect with the brand, and there is a higher revenue generation plus ROI that is possible with the help of better advertising that is done through AI. Then it is able to target the right set of audience. So by leveraging machine learning, a form of AI, advertisers can find patterns based on audience behavior and message resonance. So machine learning does this by considering all information they have about a given individual, such as demographics, online behavior, to make an informed decision on the type of content a niche segment actually wants to see. So this is because this all things plays a very important role. These are all basic variables like demographics, then online behavior, how much do you access, and what do you access on media, or what is your daily usage of internet, and what is the frequency of your purchase, what do you purchase, is it coming through an informed decision or not. So likewise, if you read your consumer, you are able to target more efficiently, and it also helps in making faster decisions because there are it is able to predict the future trends and insights with accuracy, because advertising decisions are done more impactfully, and they are improving the return of investment because we are going with a very systematic approach, learning the consumers, interacting with the consumers, and watching their activities, and then predicting their future trends of how this product or this particular product in the market will run and all this. So somewhere we have found that the retail industry, the advertising agencies, IBM Watson advertising agency is there, which is a US based agency where many big brands go and approach them for taking some AI applications to reach to their audience, right? Then we are also finding that in OTT platforms, AI is been extensively used for content production, content delivery, and blending the OTT platform. So when you say content production, because you make content, because for OTT platforms you need a lot of content, plus you need it because when it was television, we had like one episode was on one day, and then after 1 week we used to display the broadcast the second episode. Okay, with advent of technology, we could see that now the serials are running for 5 days in a week. Every day one episode is coming. Why? Because the production speed has increased, and therefore they are able to manage the content for entire week. Otherwise earlier they were like giving only 4 episodes in 1 month, because one episode was coming in 1 week, but now it is 4 episodes. So likewise, the frequency of production and the speed of production has increased. But when you talk about the OTT platforms, you are aware of the phenomena which is called as Bing watching. So what is Bing watching? You are continuously spending 2-3 hours, 4 hours of your day or your night, and you are finishing that entire web series. It means that that content is over, it is gone, it is redundant now. So you need another content, and for that you need to have a fast content production. So this is being done with the help of artificial intelligence, which is reducing the cost and making it more efficient. Plus it is giving you a lot of time to market your content, because first there is something called as promotional video or the trailer or the promo. So creating that thing is also a very lengthy exercise, but now with the help of content production techniques, we could see that AI is helping us to make it fast, and therefore we are able to create large number of content for our audience, which is very demanding and which is consuming the content in a very higher rate of speed. Then we have content delivery. Netflix is very popular for this because it has done a lot of patents, and it has done a lot of research into it, and it has taken a lot of patents when it comes to applications which are directed to artificial intelligence and machine learning, and based on recommendation systems, based on users preference, or which is ensuring fast and precise recommendations with higher degree of personalization. So all these kind of applications which are there being invented in artificial intelligence and machine learning are patented by Netflix, so that they are at the topmost when it comes to technology driven to user experience. And we find that there are a lot of users. If you go for a survey, you will find that there are maximum users of Netflix when you compare other OTT platforms, be it Amazon Prime, be it Z5 and all others, Disney and everything. So it is somewhere enhancing the streaming quality and reducing the buffering and even the data loss. And next thing that we find that OTT is using is blending the OTT platforms. Like YouTube is not only a place where we can simply watch the video. YouTube is an example of a video editor, of a social network, of a messaging board, and much more, because you can yourself create your content, you can post your content, you can become the editor of your content, And you can also find that people are putting comments to it, and you are making a social network with the help of your YouTube channel, and you are also creating a lot of monetary benefits, and you are earning money, a good amount of money with the help of YouTube. So it is all the blending of OTT platforms which is possible with the help of artificial intelligence. So here I end my lecture. Thank you so much. I hope I'm very much on time. I wind it up at 7. Uh, so Professor Udda, I think I've done my job.
Oh,
And
yes. Oh, yes. In a very
here it
wonderful.
goes to Ritika ma'am. I see I've stuck to the timelines and it's over.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful session because there are too many questions from the participants that I can
Okay.
see in the chat window. So, ma'am, with your
Okay.
permission, I'll now take up the questions one by one.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. The first question we have is, journalism is a sector within the creative economy. Will it see algorithmic robots writing and reporting stories? And what will be the viability and reliability of this industry with this introduction?
Okay, fine. May I know the person who has placed this question, ma'am?
Ma'am, it was from 2 to 3 participants, so that is why I'm not taking any names.
Well, it was an interesting question, and had they been when I started with automated journalism, I do mention about it because it is a very important aspect as journalists are fearing that if AI takes the place into the newsroom, it will eat up their jobs, but it is not because you still have that power of intelligence, and you can go for investigative stories which machines cannot. You can go for insightful interviews which machines cannot. And even if it is there into it, it is actually supporting you because it is able to give you a lot of fillers, because when you are working in a news media or any digital content website, you need content minute by minute, and for that you need a lot of updations, like there are developing news or follow-ups to the news, and for that if you have the assistance of these machines, it is really for your benefit. But it will not and it will be really very fruitful, where because we find it as a marriage between man and machine, and which is helping us with creating novel content which is unplagiarized, plus we are able to come up with a lot of fillers which is giving like which is not making any vacuum to our flow of news. The flow of news is continuing because of this AI enabled automated journalism. I hope my answer was satisfying. Can we have the next
Yes,
question?
ma'am. Ma'am, another question we have from a participant, Shelja.
Okay.
It is an interesting one. She wants to know that what kind of input is given in structured format to generate the output that is the news. Because are we using any keywords and putting it into some tables, etc.? Like what are we actually doing?
Yeah, a very interesting question. See, when you say structured data, it is working on relational database management system. That is, we have to create a relation from one column to another column. And sports journalism, business journalism, or bullion market journalism are very apt examples of it, because there you have a structured data. You have the number of series, you have the player's name enlisted, you have the scorecard of each of the player, the average, and all those analysis. When we see the commentary, remember nowadays when you see the commentary, you have so many analysis to it. So it is because we are able to create that structured data which is giving us lot of analysis, and we of course have to go for sorting and all. And as I have mentioned, Kaggle, Data Hub, you go there and visit those websites, you will find there is a lot of structured data available. It is on the YouTube viewing patterns, it is on the films, the box office, the film reviews, the businesses that the film has made, the actors performance, actor ratings. So all those are relational data which is in structured form, and which can help you in coming up with very interesting news stories and all.
Absolutely, ma'am. Another question we have, that is like, if somebody has no experience in AI, can they still use it in media, like for freelancing, etc.?
Yes, of course. See, I have given so many names in my PPT where these softwares are free. There are trial versions of it. And because, we are not technical experts, we are content creators and disseminators. We have creativity of writing good, novel and unique content. And with these machines, of course, like if you are interested in photography, you can use the various formats, the various applications, the tools which are there for enhancing your photography skills. And when you talk about script content creation, so you can create interesting scripts and you can further modify it. So I think it is all coming up out of a practice. It is not any, there is no training modules available. They give you a set of instructions. There is a helping manual. Read those instructional manuals and you can follow these softwares, because they are made for us to use. If they are very techy, then of course we won't use, and they want business, so they keep it very user friendly. And they also give you demo videos to it, and manuals are there. So you should try at your end, and don't fuss around into different areas. You choose, you aim at one. If you are into script writing, please look for those tools. If you are into photo editing, if you are into pre-production techniques, if you are into advertising, because we have so many different fields in journalism and mass communication, that everybody cannot be excellent in everything. So you have to choose one area where you master, where you have great interest in, and then you explore AI, and you will eventually find that it is very helpful, very interesting, and it is very it is giving a lot of perfection to your work.
Absolutely, very rightly said, ma'am. I think this will have satisfied a lot of participants of us. I would now request Professor Huda sir to kindly present a certificate to Tasha ma'am as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tasha. You have very wonderfully explained how artificial intelligence can be applied in the variety of the activities which we undertake under mass media. And questions are many, will keep on coming many, because it's an upcoming domain. And this 1 hour webinar will not be in a position.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I really enjoyed being a part of this event. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are perfectly audible.
Okay, so thank you, Ritika ma'am. Thank you, Professor Huda sir, and all the eminent panelists and wonderful participants. I could see that there are so many questions over here. I wish I could answer all of them, but I find that, if you classify them, see, this is all unstructured data, which is coming on me, and we have to structureize it. So what we can do is we can create nomenclatures like questions related to automated journalism, questions related to scripting, questions related to the third thing was photo, image, and all. And there, if you classify, then you can coin the keywords and come up with some I can then use chatbots because there these keywords will sync and automatically the answers will erupt out. So
You
here
are
I really
absolutely
need
right,
AI to
ma'am,
help
and
me with these questions.
absolutely, absolutely well said. I would also invite Professor R.K. Vyas, former President, Computer Society of India, who is with us today, to propose a vote of thanks to ma'am for this wonderful session.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
I'm
sir.
really enlightened to see this webinar. Basically, actually, I'm out of my home, so I'll not be talking much. But thank you. Thanks, Professor Huda, and thanks to the speaker of the day, Dr. Speaker of the day. She has given a very good insight of the various aspects of the journalism. Because I am no voice in journalism, but still, when I could hear the things, I could learn few things on the way. And it's really, and I hope that this kind of talk will really help the journalism students in the Bharati Vidyapeeth and elsewhere who have joined. And today I was very much enlightened to see there are more than 300 persons have joined this webinar on this topic. So this was a really nice talk. And I've seen the people are adding on after some time, 10-15 minutes. I've seen people not quitting out. In many of the webinars we see people leave it after some time, but here
Now
I
we
have
have
seen
locked
that
the
people
room.
are adding on it. Yeah.
And now
So I think Professor Huda and Ritika is doing a lot of good job in getting these type of webinars done for the students and the faculty members of this profession. So with these words, I thank Dr. Tasha Singh for giving an enlightening talk. And I must thank all the panelists. And I see my senior Professor Grover, Professor Reddy is there, Professor Seni, who is current Vice President of IET, is very much there with us. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to an end to another wonderful webinar today on artificial intelligence and mass media. I thank all distinguished panelists and participants who have continuously supported us through this webinar. A big thank you to all of you who have joined us on this auspicious day. Dear participants, the feedback link has already been shared in the chat window. I request all the participants to kindly click on the same and fill the